Emily Garrison, and thanks for joining me on Around the World in 80 Bottles. Today we're cooking vegetable samosas. Now samosas are kind of like the Indian version of empanadas. So imagine, if you will, the pastry wrapped around some really nice vegetables. But we're going to use some Indian filling for these. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a filling with carrots, potatoes, onions, a little bit of curry paste. If you don't have curry paste at home, use curry powder, and just make sure you add a little bit of water because you need the moisture from that when we add it in on your filling. Then we've got some garlic, some water, some coconut milk, and I use light coconut milk. I just don't like the fat on the other one. And then we've got some fresh lime juice and some salt. After we've cooked them down, we're going to put them in our samosas. Now, the way I was brought up is to do everything from scratch. And I do most things from scratch. But I have found something I really love at the grocery store. These things are awesome. This is a empanada batter made into a little dough and cut into a round. It's made by Goya, and you can find it at the grocery store. When I make my empanadas or my samosas, I cut them to 4-inch rounds, and believe it or not, these are already in a 4-inch round. So I have saved myself an hour in prep time every time I buy these things, and they're like $4. So this is my new best friend. And I'm going to use it when we make our samosas. So what I've done is I've cooked everything we talked about, and you've got all the recipe for you on the blog. You take this and you can cut it down with, you can cut it with a fork, you can take a potato masher, whatever works for you. I use a potato masher because I have one and I like it. So what we did was we cut this down into smaller pieces, and I'm simply going to take this and fill the dough. Now what I like to do is about 2 tablespoons of each. This is about a tablespoon, so I'm going to do 2 spoonfuls in each one. I'm telling you, I love these things. So I mash them down. Now what you want to do, typical samosas or empanadas are deep fried. I don't like to deep fry anything if I can help it. That's just me. If you want to deep fry them, you don't have to worry about anything I'm about to tell you. But if you don't want to deep fry it, you want to smash this down a little bit. So see how I make it nice and flat? And then you want to pinch the corners. Anything that comes out, I'm just putting right back into my filling. Alright, so I'm pinching them down really nicely, okay? Now see how flat this is? I found this out the first time I did these and did them so badly that everything was either really, really cooked and dark brown or undercooked and raw. So I learned that you want to keep them really flat. Now see how that goes? You're going to put 3 of these at a time into your oil and cook them about 3 minutes on each side. And once you do that, they're going to be perfectly brown and ready for everybody. So there you have it, perfectly brown samosas, right off the stove top, in a little bit of canola oil, not deep fried at all. And then we've got our food item of the week, our Wild Times chutney, and that is a perfect accompaniment to it. Although my husband swears you can eat these things alone, I eat half the amount he does because I put the chutney on there and it adds more flavor. And the chutney has basically no fat, it's all flavor. So it's a great way to get a little bit more flavor, not have to eat so much, if you have these samosas with the chutney. Wow, that is delicious. Okay, now let's see how that pairs with a wine. Now see, the cranberry and blackberry and the wild raspberry flavors of the lime just really interact with that plum currant flavor in the chutney. I mean, the 2 flavors are great. So you get that mirror of the flavor. But the other thing is, you've got this juicy style on the wine. And you've got this very intense, rich flavor of the food. And the two have a contrast to each other. And they really work so well together. The food is great and the wine is great, but the two together really interplay. Now, if you want to add something extra to your table, throw a little bit of creme fraiche or some sour cream on the side, or you can even do some yogurt. And then if you do some yogurt, I would suggest taking the spices, our cinnamon and ginger that we put into the filling, put those in the yogurt and put those to the side, and I'll give you two different things to put with it. And those will go well with the wine as well. But the flavors there really meld well. I'm Emily Garrison, and please join us next time on our culinary journey as we continue around the world in 80 bottles. Cheers!